Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Sean Burdette. And Coach, another solid weekend for you. A 2-0 sweep of Louisiana Tech, a team that, watching those two matches is young. And I think you saw a lot of potential in what they could do. They're a team under a second-year head coach that I think is just kind of trying to find a little consistency and communication. So overall, I think two very solid wins for you.
Yeah, really proud of the team, and I thought certainly put two good matches back to back there this weekend. They've got some players there that can certainly swing and score some points, and they were finding some ways there, especially in that second match on Saturday, and did a good job. And we had to kind of fight back there, especially in that second set on Saturday, to be able to score some points.
It's the first two matches this year you were able to let any kind of fans in. It was limited to players, staff, families in there, so a few people. But as we saw in that arena, I know it was one of the attractive things about the Finch Center for you to move into. It doesn't take a whole lot of people in there to get that place pretty loud.
No, and it really kind of whets your appetite to be able to have 500 people in there eventually, and but just to get some people in, and even if it's family, whoever it is, just to have them cheering and on your side, and it does give you a different atmosphere, and it's great to have that.
All right, let's talk about it. You jumped right on top of Louisiana Tech Friday night, smothered them in the first set. They made some adjustments, gave you a little bit of run in sets 2 and 3. But, Sam Drury gets 9 kills. Maya Smith, Jada Burkle were solid as well with 8 kills apiece in that match.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things we talked about, certainly from the offensive side, was spreading things out and not relying on one player. We did a good job on both evenings of getting quality swings and attempts for multiple attackers, and I thought we did a good job of attacking front row, back row as well, and probably the biggest piece of it was just talking about winning the serve and the serve receive, what we call a serve pass battle, and trying to outperform your opponent in both of those aspects of the game.
What do you think they saw in your defense early on? Because at least in the first set, a little bit in the second, you guys were content to kind of pack it in the middle, and they wanted to go down the lines. They had a lot of attack errors down the lines, but obviously you saw something in their offense where you were going to clog it up in the middle.
Yeah, and again, credit to the assistant coaches here and our staff of scouting the opponents, and we put a lot of time in doing that. And we thought, hey, let's challenge them and see if they can kind of, what we say, thread the needle and hit down line. Maybe they'll make a couple of errors, and they did early on, and that, I think, kind of got them a little bit more tentative, started tipping and rolling, and we did a good job of picking that stuff up.
Well, you go into Saturday, and so we've seen 3 matches now going to Saturday where your freshman Sam Drury has been outstanding. He's kind of been your offensive star. So an experienced coach like they had at Louisiana Tech was going to make the adjustment. And it looked like at times they were trying to send 2 blockers over there near the left side of that net to take her out of the match, and they did kind of quell her a little bit. So you get 6 kills, but Maya Smith and Jada Burkle offensively just stepped up huge for you.
Yeah, and I credit that to our setting as well, and just great decision making from that position. And Sabrina did a really good job of what we say reversing the flow. She's moving forward, maybe setting the ball backwards, where she would have maybe just bailed that ball out to the 2 outside hitters last weekend. And I think, certainly we did see not only were they trying to double block the outside hitters for us, but then they also served them an awful lot. And we've got, good ball control outsides, and they did a nice job of handling that serve and, putting us into an offensive rhythm and giving us a lot of options. So it's not where we have to bail out and just set one person, but everybody kind of pulled their weight, which those are the fun nights, and that's where you get to have people score from all over the net in different places.
Of course, you said on last week's show, the thing you wanted to improve on going into week 2, get a little bit more defensive up on the net, a few more blocks. And boy, Elizabeth Orth at 6'5", and I know that's probably one of the reasons you're able to get her down here from Marquette on that transfer year, provided some of that defense for you with that big 6'5" frame.
Yeah, and certainly she's long, and Maya in the middle as well, being athletic. They both take up space, and if you're not stuff blocking the ball, which, hey, we'd prefer that, but if not, and they're setting up a solid block, then it's a lot easier to defend around. If people are kind of flying all over the place up there at the net, makes it very tough to defend. So I thought they did a good job of, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be, taking up space, and allowed us to either defend around them, or we did get a lot more touches and some stuff blocks.
Well, for her efforts, Maya Smith gets on the weekly honor roll. So that's nice to see. It's interesting because we were talking before we taped this. A lot of times you see players in Division I, it doesn't work out, so they'll drop down to Division II. But you don't often see a Division II player able to make, they'll transfer up to Division I, but they don't often make that transition where they are an impact starter.
Yeah, and she's a phenomenal athlete, and I think certainly her drive to get better is something that also is a big factor. And she's hungry. She wants to learn the game and puts really good work in every day in practice. And I think that showed. And we talked so much about wanting to get our middles involved and our right side attacker involved as well. And that all comes from ball control. You got to pass the ball. You got to be able to defend it, and then obviously having a skilled setter that also has a good amount of experience under her belt. And Sabrina did a good job, again, of finding those middles in transition, and not just in a perfect pass situation, but being able to get them the ball as long as they're up in the air.
You're solid pretty much in every aspect of the two matches, because you went 6-0 straight through, 3-0, 3-0 on Friday and Saturday. Saturday, a few serve errors we were talking about, and I don't think it was anything technical. I guess sometimes they just kind of rear their head up there.
Yeah, we've probably had more misses than we've had in any of the other sets, but part of that comes, you're going to have those evenings where you're staying aggressive at the service line, and we just missed some, but I think what was good was there were some targeted intentions there, and they just got a little off track, but at the end of the day, we were able to battle back, and we missed some at the end, of set 2 especially, and it was kind of a back and forth battle there with them, and we extended past point 25 and just kind of remained calm, and we stayed patient and allowed us to kind of do what we do on defense, and then also terminate the ball.
Well, overall now you're done with your non-conference, only 4 matches because of the shortened season, but at 3-1 in the 3 matches that I've called, I mean, you got to be, I think, pretty happy with what you've seen. I know coaches, you're always gonna, it's your job to find mistakes to correct them, but I think you got to be pretty pleased overall.
Yeah, it's good. We go into a bye weekend this weekend before we head down to Tulane to start conference play. And again, it's a short conference season with only 5 weekends of play. I think it's a good starting point, and we break things up into mini seasons. So our pre-conference, which normally would be about 4 weeks, is 2 weeks long here for this one. And that season is kind of behind us. And now we're moving into the next phase. And it's exciting to kind of start prepping for Tulane and to get back in the gym yesterday and today and work on some things that we want to shore up and some things that we want to get better at heading into Tulane. But as we all know that the conference is highly competitive, and we want to make sure that we're ready to go for Tulane. And they're a good program, done a good body of work here in the pre-conference schedule.
Talking about conference season, so you're playing only the Western Division teams one time through, so very limited opportunities, as we talked about on your preseason show. Tulane 2-3 out of the gates this year. Not sure if they're playing this weekend, but you're going to have at least 5 matches to kind of gauge them and see them on film. Getting down to New Orleans next weekend, and you know how to split things up. If you could come away with a split down there, even just a split, that would be pretty big for you.
Yeah, you certainly want to steal some things on the road. And we are away for more conferences matches than we are at home. We're away 3 weekends and home for 2. So we want to make sure we try and steal some when we can. And, when you walk into somebody else's arena, you've got to be ready. And, we've had some very good contested battles with them in the past couple seasons. And, certainly a program that returns a lot of good players, and everybody's trying different things in this pre-conference and try to figure out personnel. But they've got a couple matches this weekend that we'll be able to see as well and keep prepping for.
What do you see out of them so far on the early film?
Well, they're a physical team, and they do a good job again of attacking the entire length of the net and can score points from anywhere. It's not just a left side or right side. They've got good attackers in all the positions and good quality depth as well.
And finally, Coach, before we wrap it up, we always talk about or we always talk about, your offensive stars or whoever the big shot blocker is, they get all the attention. But I think your back three, your back line, it's been the anchor of this team. The digs have been outstanding. They're doing a good job of controlling the ball off the serve or off the attack and making it easier for your players up front.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the style that we've kind of aspired to, and type of team that we aspire to be. Let's just get after it. Let's be scrappy and keep the ball off the floor. It may not always look the best, but again, if you can get another contact and just keep bettering the ball and give you an offensive opportunity to score, then you got chances. And that's what we've really stressed, is that defensive dig to a transition swing, and let's see if we can score from there. And I think that, right there is kind of our bread and butter that we're really working on.
And final thing before we let you go, since you're done with the non-conference, I didn't ask you this last week, but feedback from the players, I guess, what's it like to finally get to play after, 14, 15 months of no matches?
It's certainly exciting for everybody. I mean, as coaches, you want to be in there and heck, I'd like to get out on the floor if I could, because it's been that long. It's just those competitive spirits, they flow in our players. I thought they were really good in that opportunity. And again, we just tackle every day as it comes to us, and just keep pushing forward for the next one.
All right, Coach, enjoy the weekend before you go get them next week down in New Orleans.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. That's Sean Burdette. I'm Jeff Brightwell with the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.